Law is the thread that binds societies and literature its timeless reflection. In the pursuit of advancing the rule of law and nurturing a culture of knowledge, Oakbridge Publishing proudly presents Vidhi Utsav, an inspiring initiative born from the collective passion for law, literature, and the pursuit of wisdom. At Vidhi Utsav, we aim to create a vibrant platform where individuals from diverse backgrounds converge to read, learn, discuss, share, and immediately celebrate the profound intersection of law, literature, and the legal profession. Join us in this noble endeavor as we embark on a journey of enlightenment and camaraderie. So the first panel of discussion will be about legal education in India, how mentoring, technology, and skill development can empower our future lawyers. Just to introduce the topic, the legal landscape is constantly evolving and our education system needs to keep up with the pace. We'll be exploring the role of experienced mentors in guiding aspiring lawyers, the ways technology can enhance learning and practice, and the essential skills law graduates need to thrive in the competitive legal field. Now I'll be introducing our panelists and I'll invite them to come up to the dais. First, we have Mr. Amarjeet Singh Chandhiok, sir. Mr. Chandhiok is a senior counsel in insolvency matters, arbitration and mediation. He is a qualified mediator and a trainer. He was a member of ICC arbitral tribunals for international arbitration. He also appeared before various arbitral tribunals of ICC at various places abroad. He represented the Indian government in the Enron arbitration in London. I invite you to the stage, sir. Could we please give him a huge round of applause? Next, we have Mr. Sachin Kalra. Mr. Sachin Kalra is the Vice President and Deputy General at the HT Media Limited. He specializes in corporate law and IPR law. He possesses a wide experience of handling a diverse range of legal matters in different industries, including insurance, telecom, FMCG, retail, real estate, and electronics. I invite you to the stage, sir. Next, we have Mr. Tariq Khan. Tariq Khan is a seasoned dispute resolution practitioner, having a strong background in alternative dispute resolution and a keen understanding of international arbitration practices. He was appointed as the partner of a prominent law firm, Advani and Company, New Delhi in 2021, and is currently the registrar of the International Arbitration and Mediation Center, Hyderabad. I invite you to the stage, sir. Next, we have Ms. Mini Srivastava. She is a seasoned legal academician at Amity Law School, Noida. Her area of interest lies in IPR, law and technology, and constitutional law. Apart from teaching law, she has also worked as a faculty in charge of Corporate Resource Center of Amity Law for 7 years. And she has trained over 250 legal professionals. I invite you to the stage, ma'am. Next, we have Ms. Akanksha Mishra. Ms. Akanksha Mishra is an independent litigator practicing at the Bombay High Court, Nagpur bench. She handles a variety of matters in the field of real estate, arbitration, and commercial litigation. Akanksha has also been the corporate counsel for PSUs and the startup companies, where she has worked on diverse facets of legal transactions, including drafting of agreements, conducting due diligence, etc. I invite you to the stage, ma'am. Let's extend a warm round of applause for all our panelists. I leave it to you.
So, good morning, one and all. It's a fantastic venue and a fantastic day, and we're discussing a very, very important topic, which is law education in India, role of mentoring, technology, and skill upgrade. And I think collectively, first and foremost, we would like to thank Oakbridge for giving us the opportunity to discuss such an important topic. And it cannot be better than the panel that we have today, because we have a mixed panel. And it's very important for academia in particular to know the feedback of people from different domains of law, what exactly they want when they hire a fresh law graduate. So that the gap between the academia and world of work gets reduced, the gestation periods gets lowered, and the students, once they complete their legal law course, there is a smooth transition. So it is for this purpose that this session holds a special significance. And having said that, I would like to quote few paras from National Education Policy 2020, because that really defines the path how education in this country is going to be run in next few decades. So I'll just read out certain paras, because that is the common goal that India as a country has set up, and legal education also is going to be fall in line to the national goal that we have. It says that education is fundamental for achieving full human potential, developing an equitable and just society, and promoting national development. And providing access to quality education is key to India's continued ascent and leadership on the global stage in terms of economic growth, social justice and equality, scientific advancement, national integration, and cultural preservation. So with these 5 goals that the policy has, what we are looking for is that the students that study, they start from their schooling and they reach their higher education level, including law, they actually become a full round professional. Somebody who does well monetarily, somebody who also thinks about society, somebody who is scientific also in their mindset, and also think about the country, and also is sensitive towards the culture. So with these 5 aims, this policy has been written. And if we read about this policy, it talks about a lot of things, including that the skills that now India and Indian students need to basically learn in order to become 21st century graduates. So if I address this particular gathering, 21st century lawyers, how does law students become that? So with this in mind, I'll quickly be, because the round of introduction has begun, has already been done. So I'll quickly be coming to the questions to our esteemed panelists. And so basically, my first question, and it's a common question for all our guests, is that I would really want, especially starting with Chandhiok sir, if you could tell us the picture of legal education in a kal, aaj or kal wala scenario. So basically changing dimensions of legal education then and now, and what are the reasons for that? Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Mini. Good morning to everybody, or good afternoon, really. We have gone already past 12. I am not going to reserve my comments here. I think we all should be open to what we have. I should know where are we going wrong. We should also know where we are doing very well. So the first, I thought the audience actually should have the Bar Council's representatives here, because they are the ones who actually cater to the curriculum today. They should be aware of the fact, where are we going, what is the goal that we have to achieve, and how do you put curriculum in place with the various universities and law colleges. Our curriculum is not meeting the demand of the day today. There is no dispute on that part, at least. Speaking for myself, my friends can have a different view. I do not cater to my child that he has to face, whether it's arbitration, whether it's court litigation, whether it's tribunals today, everywhere the scenario is totally different. and Tariq is here, he'll bear me out on this. I find in arbitration, for example, though we say it's a statement of claim, statement of defense, but it's still a pleading. It can't be a pleading different than what is provided in the Civil Procedure Code. Therefore, my child must know when he's entering a courtroom or any dispute resolution that how he has to plead his case. The law schools must equip them. And I'm glad Mini is here to help us out on this, that instead of doing moot court competition, it's a very good step taken by us. In my day, there was no moot court. I think as the president of law faculty, first time I did a mock trial, everybody thought what I was doing. Moot court is good. It's an excellent situation to come bring children out. But actually give them a case, ask them to make their plaint, ask them to plaint their written statement. In an arbitration, ask them to make a statement of claim. Let that, not memorials to look at, actually that statement of claim or plaint or a writ petition draft should be before us. So that he must know what points in the counter affidavit or the statement of defense he has to meet. This training is absolutely necessary because we are going away from our fundamental principles. I tell a child, I need something on law, he straight away goes to Google, goes to SEC online, reads one sentence and says, sir, here it is. In what context that line was made? Why was it made by the court? Nobody wants to go into it. Therefore, it is the training that I think the first 2 years, you may teach the child through all academics that you have. I think from third year or fourth year as you may demand. The child should be now prepared from first principles of law. And the first principle of law will not change. Whether I go to a tribunal or I go to an arbitration or I go to court. I need to train my children there. I need to bring home their position, give them a problem and ask them to do it in a classroom. And I must give you an experience that I have very recently. At Madhyam, we started doing ADR classes. And we brought a professor, we brought a person who is actually doing that in the real court. Both of them at the same time. So after 2 or 3 sessions, we start giving them an examination now. And kept prizes for them, of course. Now this is what they will get themselves trained into. What did I did a mistake? What did I did not? What I need to improve upon? And to give you a very lighter moment, maybe in early afternoon before you go for your lunch, is that I saw a state settlement made, though it was a mediation settlement, which said Mini is the owner by registration. Tariq claims he is actually the owner of the property. And I am the person who wants to develop it. So the settlement now says Mini agrees that Tariq is the owner. However, Mr. Chandhiok will develop it, sell it, mortgage it, and what is my right? Tariq's rights are also taken away. I haven't taken away Mini's rights. Therefore, these small things we need to teach. You don't need to go to larger situations of what Constitution, of course, we have a chapter, I'm sure there are 2 classes. I used to have Constitution 1 and Constitution 2. I'm sure it is still there. But I need to take up a matter in the court and say, please look at it, whether the judgment is correct. Why it is wrong? Maybe when the judgment was delivered, the law was different. Maybe the law has changed. And how will a youngster apply his mind to the statute to say, the judgment has no relevancy today because the statute is amended? This is the training to my mind I need to give to my children. People may say we are running the saturation point, there's no space, but I can tell you there's nobody there. It's all vacant. We are many of us, but the space at the top is still vacant. So don't think that you are in greater numbers, there'll be difficulty in internships. In fact, I said yesterday, sitting in this very hall room, that time has come when your bar associations and the bar councils must impose a duty on a council that once you cross a particular age or a particular number of years, you must have at least 2 interns with you, compulsorily. And there should be a phenomena in the Bar Association or Bar Council where children register, and then you send the children. As a senior counsel, what is the point of my getting an honor from that if I can't even accommodate 3 children, 3 associates with me? Give them the training, give them some stipend so that he doesn't feel or she doesn't feel frustrated. Of course, I see today women are outnumbering us. Time has come when probably we'll have to agitate to say there should be reservation for men in the profession.
Long way.
But still, notwithstanding that, please see, we had last Delhi Judicial Service exam, 22 people succeeded. 20 were girls. And mind you, all of them, I think, except for one of them, I think, if my memory is not failing me, were all people who had done extremely well in their law schools. We are agitating on it. I don't know how far it will succeed. That a child who comes from a law school, please don't give him a position to go as a judge. Ask him to practice for 2 years. Make it compulsory. Even those who want to go in corporate practice, what we call it today, please request him or her to go to court for at least 2 years. You will know how your agreement is going to be interpreted. You would know what are you going to write. These templates are doing more harm to us than doing good. Union of India entered into an agreement which said, with the foreign party, that disputes would be resolved by Indian law. The arbitration would be governed by English Arbitration Act. Then the procedure to be followed will be ancestral law, and place of arbitration is Malaysia. This would not happen if we were to apply our mind to the statute, to our facts, and not go with our templates. Template is only for the question of format, what format you want. But it's not meant to take away all other things, just put your 2 paragraphs and put it. This new thing that has come up, I think the professors like Mini will have to change that view from the children. That you must innovate. Law is innovative. Bring something new. The doctrine of all that we have heard from the Supreme Court was innovated. It's not that it was already laid down. Therefore, my view would be that the curriculum of the law schools needs a change. Certainly needs a change with changing times. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So you brought in many points, and I've jotted down, so I'm going to share it with my academic fraternity.
Sure, sure.
Over to you, Sachin, sir.
Thanks, Mini. Thank you, Chandhiok sir. Great to be part of this Vidhi Utsav, wonderful event by Bhupinder ji and Vikesh ji this morning and yesterday evening. Good to be here, part of this. The question which is there is on how the curriculum should be of the law schools and how legal graduates should follow the. See, as a corporate lawyer, I'll just give you a background of mine. I started as faculty of law. 2 years faculty of law, 5 years Delhi High Court and multiple courts in Delhi. Then shifted to the corporate world. Yes, definitely Mr. Chandhiok has said that every lawyer who goes to corporate law or a judge should attempt to be a litigating lawyer first to understand the basics basically and then fit the basics in the working style. That's must. Similarly, I just feel though, today's legal education need 2 basic things. One is the commercial understanding, which every student should have commercial understanding, be it be a litigating lawyer or be it be a corporate lawyer or a faculty tomorrow or a judge also. A business understanding or a commercial understanding should be there. Plus, there should be a rationale which he should follow. How to treat, basically, if I say a contract is been taught by a tutor, along with the contract, when you see the agreement, basically, all topics in agreement, be it be indemnity, be it be arbitration or jurisdiction, be it be a clause, any clause, all is governed through a contract law. But when we see the law interns working with us, when we ask basic question to them, they're not aware of the basics only. And when they fit those things in the document, it becomes like a template they're filling up from one position to other, copy paste and just circulate it, the draft is ready and we're going that. That's not should be the basic idea should be. The idea should be there, a practical experience of each topic. If I say, out of 100 students in a class, 20 students want to be part of merger acquisition or a share purchase agreement, they should make them understand what is share purchase agreements, talk about why these clauses are there, and what is the purpose of these clauses and what are the benefits out of that. That's a practical experience required at the basic level today, because the competition is going so high. When we did law, or myself, sir might have done law, I think so, there would have been only 30 to 40 schools in India. I did law, there were 150 schools in India. When I was faculty of law, there was 2,000 schools in India. Today there are lakhs of schools in India. With national law school coming up, multiple national law schools are there, multiple schools are there. So the competition is so high that you have to come out of that competition and show that yes, I have everything available with me. Out of 100 students, if I say, 50 students only go towards the profession, 50 go away. Either they start their own business or something else, but you need to build this culture that yes, if you're doing law, a professional degree you're getting, you have to be thorough with the subject at the day one. Yes, definitely, I also keep interns with me, around 12 to 15 interns in a year, which I capture, but every student I give at least 3 hours in a week to understand what he has learned from my team, or myself. So that he also ensures that I have learned something from ST Media, from my team, and we have given something betterment for my society. And as a 25 years of experience of this industry, I personally feel it's my responsibility, or sir's responsibility, or Tariq's responsibility as a senior to guide each intern, a new person. They are going to be the industry expert tomorrow. I am not going to, we will retire. Not retire in the sense, we'll take a back step, and they are going to come forward and say, yes sir, I am available, and we can demonstrate as per the law. With also this, there are multiple streams being opened now. Earlier it was only a litigating lawyer or a documenting lawyer. Today, so many streams been opened by government, basically in India, with regulatory framework. There is a requirement of data protection officer, which is also a lawyer required. With IT Act coming in force, the grievance officer is required. With NCLAT, NCLT coming, there is a specialized field of IBC lawyer which is required to be there. So those are the fields which are to be governed at the basic level when their students are. All those subjects which are mandatory, maybe say Contract Act, IPC, CPC, CRPC, Evidence Act, these are mandatory, but apart from that, there are multiple subjects which are being taught today. IPR, madam is a subject expert of IPR. I did IPR in 2004 when I did Masters IPR. That IPR has, the starting point was that no one was knowing what is the trademark of us. It all started in 2000, 2001 when the person started doing that. There is IPR, which is a special subject, and IP is a different ratio. Today, every high court, Delhi, Mumbai or Madras High Court, there is a special division which is called IP division, which is specialized practice only. So those thought process to be built at the basic level at the law college, that's going to give a student commercial angle, and how to build it. That is what the framing is there, and I am really thankful to you that I am happy to support those students, and I am going to continue this as a mentor of those guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Sachin sir. Very nice points. I've noted down. Over to you, Tariq sir.
Thank you, Mini. Thank you very much. Thank you, Oak Ridge, for having me, and it's indeed a pleasure to be amongst you all on Sunday afternoon. I'll tell you about what Mr. Falias Nariman had said in my book launch in 2014, when I had written my first book as a young lawyer. One thing he mentioned was that the worst reward for hard work can be fixed monetary compensation. And he gave a message to the younger lawyers. He said that work, even if you don't get any monetary reward for that in your early years, because the value of rupee may go down, but the same is not true for experience. And I completely agree with that, and what Chandhiok sir has rightly mentioned. You know, there's a need for investing in trainings and for students and the younger lots to, start doing internships and get hands-on experience as to what is happening in courts. I remember as a young lawyer when I used to intern, I used to see Chandhiok sir with a huge number of interns with him throughout, and I've been seeing sir for the longest time. But I think that we need to also be sure about this. There's one person alone cannot make that difference. And law schools have a great responsibility because, focus is more on making lawyers, not advocates. If you see the curriculum, literally, I'll tell you, not all law schools, There are some good law schools who have been doing exceptional work. GD Goenka, of course, is one place, because, and I'm saying this with experience, because I've visited pretty much every leading university in the country, interacted with students across the globe, not just in India. You know, there are very few universities which are focusing on the practical aspects. And what sir has rightly highlighted, there is a need for a combination. You can't just have advocates and law firm partners teaching, but you also cannot have just people who have never visited court teach subjects like legal, drafting. They cannot teach procedural law, unfortunately. We all have our limitations. If you ask me to teach taxation, I may just leave or disappear. But arbitration is my subject, mediation, commercial law. So, you know, every person has his or her own expertise, and this is a time of specialization. So, my only request to law schools is that, A, focus on also making people advocates, which is a skill set that you acquire over years of practice. So more practical inputs are important. You can have experts from different domain come and visit law schools as adjunct professors. And the second thing is what Justice Krishna here, somebody who I have always looked up to, said that more focus is on pricing education rather than imparting education. So I really request, it's an appeal that A, if you are, there's no harm in commercializing it, but you know, the idea should be to provide quality education, because sir has rightly mentioned about the number of educational institutions that are there. So yeah, those are my prelim candid thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you, Tariq sir. Very well articulated. Over to you, Akanksha. What are your thoughts?
Thank you, ma'am. In fact, ma'am has raised a very relevant question. So I believe that the landscape of legal education has significantly evolved. At Loctopus Law School, I interact very closely with many law students from 50 plus law schools across the country. And I have noticed two very important things while interacting with them. I believe that, first of all, whenever we talk about legal education, the first thing that I notice is that they have lack of clarity as to why why law education is in fact important in their life. If you don't know the purpose of what you're doing, I don't think you will be able to have that zeal and the patience to keep going. So I see a lot of lack of patience in learning as well. They come to me with a lot of desperation to quickly get on the field. They come to me with a lot of haste. They don't want to sit on learning. 5 years itself seems very long to them in legal education, and then waiting more becomes a tough task for them. So I believe that the first thing at law school one should do is to tell them how much they can impact the world if they learn the law of the land well. So if I'm doing a marathon, okay, and I'm preparing for that for 2 months, every single day's struggle is going to turn into a process for me more than pain, because I know that I want to run the marathon. But if I don't know where I'm going, if I'm going to constantly go with the fear of uncertainty, I might not be able to enjoy the process and have the patience. So that's first thing I believe, that law school should start from why. Inspiration, motivation with respect to a lot of visual mediums and many things. Other thing, one more thing that I've really noticed is that the bridge between, so we learn a lot of theory in law school, which is very important, definitely. But when we get out of law school, the thing that we've learned in school, vis-a-vis what we are practicing outside, the bridge is very, very long, okay? I'm not saying you need to replace or you need to completely, close the bridge. It's important, you need that bridge. But you definitely need to reduce it. I mean, the reduction is important, it is needed as of now. What I mean by that is that a lot of students come to me, so I teach contract drafting also to a lot of students. When I ask them about drafting, there's a lot of cluelessness that I find in them. My point is that, like in schools, we would study physics, we would study chemistry, and then we would go to the labs to actually experiment and see what H plus, hydrogen plus chloride is actually going to create HCl, and it's acidic. Then why can't we in law school also create a law lab? You learn contracts, go to the lab, draft, create that practicality, and then go ahead. You don't need to, it's not necessary that we need to spend 2 to 3 years after law school to become efficient. We can learn that in law school and then become efficient and get out, okay? Like how medical schools have hospitals attached, okay? They work as junior doctors. Then in law schools also we can have courts, various courts attached, okay? Learn the grassroots justice first. So that is one more thing I believe is something that legal education needs a change. It remains unchanged. Definitely there are some positive changes. Like when I was graduating, the only two categories that I had was either you become a litigator or you go into corporate firm. But today we have a lot of choices. We have a lot of options. I mean, one of the learner came to me the other day and asked me that, hey, can you help me become a legal nurse consultant? I had not even heard of this, that this is also a possibility. So choices are a lot, but I think if we can just train them and make them a little more trained on field, that would really work well. One last small point, I just really want to mention this. I want to take this opportunity today. I believe that legal education is not just for lawyers and judges. It is for the public at large. And it is time now to introduce law as a subject in schools, I believe. Not just civics, but legal literacy should be a right. So yeah, that's my point.
Thank you. Regarding your last point, I think starting from civics, they get to know a little bit about the polity aspect. Like my son studies all that in class standard 8, from 6th standard onwards, I remember. And, but there is a special subject known as legal studies, which some schools offer. And because I have studied their NCRT book, and it's excellently written. So students who opt for it definitely, get to learn that in great detail. So now, moving to the second question. So now the world is changing, and we are seeing that there are so many reasons why globalization particularly has made a big change, has brought big change in our lives, including legal fraternity. But I would like to know that what about the mentors? Do mentors also need to embrace change? Or do they just have to be the way they used to be earlier? Because if the change is there, and so I think it has to be absorbed by everyone. So, sir, what is your take on that?
Well, I think everybody should do though, but a lawyer, irrespective of his age, irrespective of number of years, he, to my mind, remains a student. So if he remains a student, then he has to adopt something which has come to me or coming my way. Look at the situation prior to pandemic. I can tell you, I don't think I ever used computer. I never went on a computer on a VC to have a hearing. But pandemic changed that situation, and one had to learn how to join, how to argue. So it's not that the seniors do not want to. I think it's automatic. If you see the graph of any lawyer, he would start maybe at a district level. He would be doing something else. He may be doing matrimonial, he may be doing rent control, he may be doing recovery or something. He moves partition, then he goes step higher. As those cases get decided, he goes to the higher court. He now learns what is appellate. He now learns what should you write in an appeal, what you have not written in the plaint. He starts learning that. When he goes to the division bench, he learns how an LP has to be filed, or a second appeal has to be filed. And similarly, when you go to SLP, you have to learn that part. But yes, I agree, we need to change. And I think it's the process that makes us change ourselves. Every day, see, my friend mentioned IBC. Now, IBC has been amended, I think, from 2016. If I can remember, my arithmetic has always been very weak. But I think it's 10 times. The statute is amended. Now, if I don't abreast myself with the amendments that are made, then what am I doing in the court? I won't be able to do it. And in a lighter vein, you would see that in Delhi is an exception. We at one time used to have a circuit bench coming from Punjab to Delhi. We didn't have our own high court till 1966. And Delhi High Court, when became High Court in 66, sent its bench to Himachal. So there used to be a circuit bench in Himachal till the Himachal High Court was made. This is one of the high courts which started original jurisdiction after the presidency courts of Bombay, Calcutta and Madras or Chennai. And look at the number of matters that are coming there today. IPR, I'm sure many would know, 69% of judgments in IPR are from Delhi. All which you see because the government is in Delhi. So your tender matters you will find almost 53% from Delhi. So therefore the training in these subjects will be necessary. To me, a youngster must go. I think she's right absolutely that in the law school you should introduce them, that a law school be attached to a court or something. But number of law schools, my friend said there are more than 2,000. I went once to speak at one of the law schools in Greater Noida and was shocked to know that there are 41 law schools between Amity and Greater Noida. That's right. How many of them would be?
To me also. I go there every day.
So how do you expect? I don't know whether they have infrastructure or not. I'm not very sure. I think there's a need today to have an institute to make law teachers also. A person who wants to become a professor, he or she must know what is the need of the hour. We don't have any institution preparing. I pass out maybe LLM or do probably PhD or something and I join somewhere as a professor. And it's time that you should now have classes like Mini teaches IPR. Let's say she takes a class of trademark. You must have a trademark attorney to do the next class. Because if you have taught the child what is a trademark, distinction between trademark and a mark, what can be a mark, what can you add, what can you subtract, when you will be call it a passing off, when will you call it an infringement, he will practically tell you what all you need to plead, what all you need to input it. Not that any client comes and you say, oh, trademark is violated, file a suit. Therefore, that training in the law school is possible. I don't know whether it will be possible looking at the number of law schools, whether we'll have so many courts to meet it. And unfortunately, let me honestly tell you all, barring Delhi, Bombay, Calcutta and Madras, even if I go to Ghaziabad, the law is different. It's being dealt with differently. Many people don't know about it. I went to Orissa and I was talking about the question of Benami Transaction Act. He said, what is that act now? So therefore, I need to train my judges. There should be an ongoing education both for lawyers. And I think that proposal of the Bar Council that I must renew my license, maybe not after 5 years, after 10 years. But I must do something. And more so, whether am I discharging my duty towards the bar. I have a duty owed now. I must give back. I've taken so much, I must give it back. And how many people today want to do a pro bono? Nobody. Therefore, all these things are a part of package that you must start. The child must understand that he has to do it. And then after maybe a year or two, he decides or she decides what particular branch of law he wants to go to. It's not necessary that from school I prepare him, because we were just talking on the table. When we used to see pictures, the court was different. When we came to law school, the law was different. When we actually came to court, the law was totally different. So the scenes are different. So he's going from picture to an actual court, he or she will find difference. So let that child settle down in the profession. That was the purpose of my saying 2 years of going into it. Yes, I agree with her. Avenues are open. At my time, it was not even corporate law. At my time, it was a retainership. Now they're in-house counsels. They're contributing so much as not practicing in law court, but they're still contributing. Almost every large law business house has a legal department of its own. Therefore, there are so many avenues that are opening to you. But I agree today the need for a youngster is that after 5 years of law, he or she wants, I must get something in my hand. And I think there should be a Bar Council's legislative mandate that a senior must have 1 or 2 people and must be paid a particular stipend to them, so that this child gets something back for the purpose to go back. Thank you.
So if you'd like to give quick responses to how the mentors need to change themselves, because the time is little less, so quick
just
comment.
a shortcut on that.
Yeah, thank you.
See, rightly said, a law student is always a law student. That is the mandate for everyone, be a youngster or be us or be everyone, because so much dynamic in law is there. You cannot be expert of everything, and you have to learn. And with the change of technology, change of inbuilt of new provisions, new regulations which are coming up, yes, definitely every person has to come forward and thorough with the subject. Being a general counsel, I tell you, last 5 years, I have seen multiple regulations which has come up, and impact is high. Be it be labor law, be it be IP, be it be data protection, be it be IBC, be it be CCI, there are a lot of changes which has developed from multiple sectors only. And as a lawyer, I have to be thorough with that because I have to answer. When I have to answer, I have to be ready. So one is this. Plus, change of technology, yes, it's a technology which is built up, which has definitely changed. If I tell you a small example, a litigating lawyer who is before the court, every court has a different dynamic. And he needs to think of what I have to speak before this judge and what I have to speak with the judge, because that's a dynamic which built up. That's also is a learning basically. And that learning keeps going whenever you sit in a court and start learning about that. During my practice days, I remember if there was one matter, I used to do one matter, but I used to sit with the court of the judge which I used to appear every day. I need to understand what all queries he can ask and what all answers I have to reply in the part. That is learning which I have got from my seniors also. Today sir is saying, yes, every student who is joining a law profession want a stipend in hand immediately. When I started, I remember 6 months I didn't got a single penny. I was a person from outside in Delhi. I came and met some senior, asked him, requested him that I want to be a junior of him. He started just to start coming with me and doing that. 6 months I didn't got anything, but I survived accordingly. He has given me a blessing. Those blessings which I have got, experience talks. Experience comes when you learn, and that's what learning is. Thank you.
Tariq, sir, your comment?
Yeah, I'll keep it quick. So, regarding mentorship, one point that I want to make is that it's not just what you know, it's who you know that gets you ahead in the profession also. So that's very important. So this is one thing which I want to add. The second thing is that one of the professors I recently met, who happens to be an expert in arbitration, and in my discussions he said, oh, you've been doing some work on arbitration. So there are a lot of issues with the 1940 Act. One has to make changes. I was shocked. I said, which act? So he mentioned 1940 Act. So according to the professor, still we are in that era, because 1940 Act was repealed in 96. Then amendment of 2015, then 19, then 21. But some of the law schools, I don't want to name the law schools, sir is talking about a hub in Greater Noida, for example. So, one of such schools which are not focusing on, changing with time or evolving. Law is a profession which keeps evolving. COVID is the best example. And one thing I want to add is that there is a need in law schools to track the performances of the professors also. They are the best mentors that law students have. Unfortunately, right now in place, there is no such criteria as to how you can track what the professors are doing, what they're teaching. Therefore, there is a need to also get anonymous feedback from the students every quarter or half yearly, so that the school should also know what is really happening, because there are a lot of complaints with the students, but nobody really complains about the professors. So professors must evolve with time. And one such example, Divanshu is sitting, who is probably very, very well versed. He's an excellent example of how, Harsh is sitting here. So both of them, I know them personally, and I keep seeing they're very updated. So there is a need for all of us to ensure that people around us who are literally taking care of our kids, they are themselves, equipped with all the latest developments. Thank you.
Correct. Thank you. So just quick comment on the last comment that you made I can talk about my law school. We are very conscious about the quality, and for that there is compulsory faculty feedback that our students fill every semester before they write the exam. So we make sure that the quality remains high. Thank you. So, time is actually very short, and we can have a couple of quick questions from the audience. We would, if anybody would, yes, please, Abhimat. Yes, you are.
In relation to that, yesterday there was a particular panel of discussions, and where in one panel, a panelist said that every lawyer, or rather an aspiring advocate, needs to have a USP. With respect to what Madam mentioned, that there are choices which you get, go to corporate, go to litigation. And if I relate those 2 points, I want to ask, does a student identify that this should be pursued as his USP after law school? That's any of you can answer. If the question was clear.
How does a student decide?
I think if you ask me personally speaking, your law actually starts when you finish law. Therefore, you must go to court, you must understand what is writing an agreement. And once you decide that, then it is for your choice. You will see what is happening. How are you writing everything? Then you will see your ground, whether you want to go to corporate law or whether you want to stay in the court. If you're a hardcore litigator, you want to do something, that's possible. But it must be, can't be in the law school. It must come to court and see what is happening.
All right.
Just to add to, sir, I have one more point. In fact, I believe that the 5 years of law school is given to you. There is no harm in experimenting with all kinds of internships and then deciding what you want. There is absolutely no harm in that. So that's one more way of understanding your USP. Get on the field.
That's precisely the advice
Mini,
which
just one point.
Yes.
I'll keep it quick.
Yeah.
So in law school, I mean, one thing I can tell you for sure, never really think of choosing something what is best for me. The idea is to eliminate, to, winnow down and see out the options and see this is not for me. This is not for me. And that's where internships will help you and moot courts will help you.
Thank you. This is the same advice which I also give to my students, that it's your life, give yourself time. And it's absolutely fine to have multiple choices one after the other till the time you arrive at the right place. Okay, this is what I want to do in life. So it's okay if you take time. Any other question?
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Please.
Good afternoon.
Please
My name
introduce
is
yourself.
Mohit Chaurasia. I'm an advocate practice in Delhi High Court. I have just a question. How about learning or the role of emotional intelligence in the context of teaching lawyers the so-called behavioral dynamics that is played out in the fraternity or across the benches? Because I see many lawyers says that it's not the law you know, how much the judge you know. So there are so many dimensions that we can add in the context of emotional intelligence, and I think this is a subject which I am very close to. What is your opinion that how it shall help the new student to understand the dynamic of behavior that play out in the courts and in the fraternity? Thank you.
Very well said, sir. In fact, we have psychology as one of the subjects in our law school, and there all these things are taught to the students, that empathy, gaining the empathy of the client is very, very important. Only then you can get the right facts from the person who's disclosing their case before you. So that's one. And otherwise also, even when you're facing the court, psychology plays a big role apart from what you have, how you've prepared your case.
What I have learned, and sometimes the word psychology gets the notions of some technical or complicated behavioral dynamics. I'm just referring to how a new advocate comes when he comes into into real world, whether it is a law firm or practice on his own. There are emotions that rules him or her more than anything else. He just fails to control, and not everyone would approach a psychologist for such a basic problem. And I'm just referring, that is a lighter word, that emotional, how and emotions are handled, because I don't know if psychology is the word which will connect to people that, okay, I'm in a psychology class. So some behavioral dynamic can be introduced in the context of dealing with the profession of law in general. I just wanted to, have
Thank
the
you.
views if
It's
possible.
a very
Thank you
relevant
so much.
comment. Thank you. So I believe we are running out of time, so we'll conclude. One comment, quick comment from each of the panelists, if you allow. Just one line. That's it. Okay. So I think we're very short of time. There are a lot of, it's a big day and a lot of sessions. So thank you so much. It's been a fantastic session, and Over to you.
Yeah. And quickly providing a perspective of the student, I feel there is definitely a change is required. But speaking from my experience, I have been taught by a current MP, a former ambassador, practicing advocates. So there are law schools which are trying to bring in the change, and we are offered these courses in form of electives. So we can actually choose what is our interest area, and we can choose our electives accordingly. So I think that change is coming with time, as was stressed upon by our panelists. Thank you for your insights.
Sorry, Ananya. I just wanted to take a moment to request Chandhiok sir to please come forward. We had announced a Vidhi Samman. It was conferred on him yesterday, but unfortunately he couldn't be with us. We would now like to present it to him. Sharanya, could you please come on the stage, please? I would request Sharanya also to join us on the stage.
A huge round of applause for all our panelists. I request Chandhiok sir to present all the panelists with mementos. First we have Sachin sir. Next we have Tariq sir. Mini ma'am. And Ashama ma'am. Sorry, I'm so sorry. Apologies. Akanksha. I request you all to pose for a group picture. Ma'am is saying a big round of applause for our audience as well for coming on a Sunday.